today with the legendary 550 Ti. This is a 1 gig VRAM video card from 2011. I'm gonna pair it up with this i7 2nd gen. I'm gonna see how it's running. This i7 2nd gen has got 4 cores and 8 threads. It's got enough frequency so it can push a lot of GPUs, but today's video card, hopefully there will be no bottleneck from this i7 2nd gen. Even though this GTX 550 Ti is from 2011, it's got a couple of specs on this list that makes it usable even today. For instance, 192 shaders, DirectX 11 support with that 1 gig of VRAM, 192 bits bus width, running at nearly 1000 megahertz on the core clock with 1100 megahertz on the memory clock. Disregarding the age, I think it will be a very good idea to throw in a couple of games that has the option to make this video card work. So let's jump in and see how this video card is working today. Alright, let's start with the Path of Exile that is set up on 1080p with lower settings. Everything is disabled in order to make this video card work. I'm using window full screen on 1080p with DirectX 11 and hopefully this game can deliver. There is a couple of settings that allow you to lower the texture and the render in order to get the target frame, but that is preference adjusted based on your performance. Regardless, the performance in the game, it's quite fantastic because it gives me an idea what I can do with this video card. On average, this video card managed to deliver around 50 FPS with 20 minimals and 36 on 1%. Now the problem with the temperature on this video card is that I'm running on maximum fan speed, that is 4200 RPM, and it's barely managing to cool the video card, that is 73 degrees. Considering this GTX 550 Ti has 1 gig of VRAM, Path of Exile is using only 700 megabytes of VRAM on low details with 1080p. I'm 100% sure that if you raise the details, it will use more VRAM, but on the system RAM, on the other hand, we are reaching 8 gig of system RAM. It shows you that today you are not okay with 8 gig of system RAM, so you need at least 16 gigs even with games like Path of Exile, even on 1080p with low details. So in this situation, if somebody's asking that if you want to play Path of Exile, can you play it with 8 gig of system RAM? No, apparently you'll get into trouble. Even though the GPU is good, 8 gig of system RAM is not ideal. On the other hand, the CPU is doing very fantastic when it comes to holding the GPU. It's not bottlenecking, it's only shows that it's trying to bottleneck in the city, but aside from that, when you're going on a fight on the map, apparently it's doing quite fantastic with the load. It's barely loaded, only in the city where you can find other players. But aside from that, the CPU is quite fantastic. This i7 2nd gen, it's ideal for a system like this. Let's jump into Crossout and see how it's running with low details, 1080p, everything disabled, and that in the performance mode from the Crossout, I think we can actually have a chance on actually playing with this video card. When it comes to performance, the GTX 550 Ti in Crossout with 1080p, it's averaging around 60-70 FPS depending on the render scale that you have. Apparently it's still on high render resolution, so it still managed to deliver with low details that performance. 42 minimals and 58 on 1%. The GPU is doing a fantastic job with even with the frame time. In this situation, it stays very flat, under 20 frame time, and you can actually have a decent experience with this video card in Crossout. When it comes to thermal, it's on 75 degrees, but I can't do nothing because even though it's on maximum RPM, the GPU is still hot. So in my situation, the GPU is very loud in order to keep that temperature. But it all depends on what video card you have, what type of cooling system you have on it, because this one is a blower style, so hence why I have this temperature problem. On the other hand, the CPU is still doing a fantastic job on not being bottleneck. So in my case, the CPU it's ideal for this video card, sitting around 50-57 degrees with barely any 30% load overall, with maximum 40 watts on the TDP. The cores are not mega loaded, so I can have a decent experience with this system, this 550 Ti when it comes to Crossout. There is a high chance you can actually put more titles in the game, but in my situation, I will choose always performance over quality. It's time to actually go in GTA 5 online. I've been told that GTA 5 online it's harder on the system, hence why I'm actually using GTA 5 online, because on story mode apparently you get more FPS, but this is not the idea today. Today is to see if I can play with people online, do some missions, go somewhere, offices and stuff like this. And today we're gonna see how it's running with 550 Ti in GTA 5 online. Now, I already know the system how it's performing because I've seen so many video cards like this in GTA 5 online, but I do want to point out how nice this computer is. I mean, this video card, because with the 550 Ti, you're limited because of the VRAM. So in this situation, you can actually see that 0.9 gig of memory dedicated. It's 1 gig of VRAM in 2023, and this video card is from 2011. So you can't expect too much from this video card. But on the other hand, it's giving you over 40 FPS on average, 48 exactly, and 27 with 36 on minimal and 1%. On the thermals, on the other hand, the core is not fully loaded, hence why I got under 70 degrees. This is actually good because GTA 5 it's bottlenecked on this video card because of VRAM, not because of the core. On the previous games, we had core maxed out and we had high temperature on the video card, and that was the problem. Overall, the video card is kind of good, even though it's 2011, it still managed to deliver some performance, and you can actually have a decent experience. Just in case you have any problems, you can put the frame scale to 0.5 and you will have a high chance on actually lowering the load on the GPU and the CPU, and you will have better minimals and 1%. In this situation, with 0.5 on render scale, you will get the opportunity to increase the frame time, minimal, and 1%. I'm not joking, this is how I will take it. I will enable FXAA and put it on 0.5 if I had to use the 550 Ti in GTA 5 online. If you want to play War Thunder with this 550 Ti on low details, you will get the opportunity to play around 50-60 FPS in War Thunder, and that is an ideal performance from this video card. Actually, in some points, in some cases it's dropping to 40. If you want, you can put it even lower, and I think you will hit that target, just in case you want to play War Thunder. Now, War Thunder works really nice with this video card. It gives you a decent performance, but both of the core and the memory are maxed out. There's no question. You will see a lot of load on both of the core and the memory, and the GPU, in my case for instance, it will hit up even though I have the maximum fan RPM. Seriously, 4200 RPM, and it's 575 degrees. The GPU, it's on maximum. That's it. There is no question. If you want to lower that, I think you have to put on minimal details and maybe some lower resolution. In that situation, I think you have a better chance. If you want more than 50-60 FPS from this game with this video card. Now, when it comes to the CPU side, still doing a fantastic job with this CPU, not like in GTA 5, because GTA 5 was a bit more demanding on the CPU. Here you can actually see that you get like under 40 wattage from the CPU on the TDP. You are in a good zone when it comes to wattage with this i7 2nd gen. War Thunder, it's actually playable on this computer, so there is no problem with the configuration. I think if you do the configuration properly, the game War Thunder can run really nice on this PC. So, can you play War Thunder on this 550 Ti? Yes, of course. no problem. CSGO on the other hand, with 1080p with lowest details, it's actually fantastic on this video card and on this CPU. You can see both of them, they are being used, and both of them, they are pushed to the limit. When it comes to the GPU side, you got around 80 FPS on average, with 30 on minimal and 42 on 1%. The video card is maxed out on the core and nearly on the VRAM. But that's the thing, on 1080p, you don't want to play with this video card, but I just put it on 1080p so you can actually see how it's running on maximum resolution, that it will be ideal for this. Better resolution for my monitor, but 1080p, it's ideal for this. If you want to play with even higher FPS, higher average and better minimals and 1%, I think you have to go in that 1024 range that is competitive for most of the cases. When it comes to the CPU side, 35, actually in some cases it's hitting 60, because I seen the CPU reaching 60-70% load, and you can tell by the wattage, 60-70 wattage, and 75 degrees on the temperature. That is the number that I've seen in some cases. Cores are loaded, the average load on the CPU it's high, so overall CSGO it's pushing the computer to its limit. You know, there is no question when it comes to being used. CSGO, it's demanding on this computer, but it does run. Let's not forget Fortnite. That is the main game that I wanted to play on this video card, because it's ideal for this 550 Ti. Why? It's got performance mode, it's got render scale adjustment. The system overall is fantastic when it comes to performance. It holds the GPU, it delivers the performance with the CPU. On the CPU side, apparently I'm around 50 wattage with the CPU, holding under 70 watts, so it's not very demanding on the CPU. The system RAM, it's around 10 gig of system RAM, in which you can clearly see you need at least 16 gig of system RAM, but the stress is not on the CPU, the stress is on the GPU. But wait, there is no 100% load on the GPU. Actually, it's around 90% load on the core and 0.8 gig of VRAM used. So in my situation, it's actually ideal for the video card, aside from the temperature, because Fortnite makes every video card that I test hot. I don't know why, and I don't understand how. Even though the core is not maxed out, you can clearly see it's reaching 80 degrees, and it's very scary for a video card like this, because it's got a metal shroud on top of the die, and it's making the thermal paste underneath very hard. In some situation, this temperature, it's actually killing the video card, so it's not ideal to have this temperature all the time. If you have a couple of games in Fortnite and you want to play with this type of video card like a 550 Ti, ideal will be to push the resolution lower, the details lower, put some anti-aliasing, and then you will distress the GPU and the VRAM. That is ideal for a video card like this. But in my situation, 1080p with 100% render scale and on low details, it was ideal. But if you want more performance, better minimals and better 1%, it will be ideal to lower the render scale to 50%, and you will get a surprising nearly 100 FPS with better minimals and better 1%. That is ideal if you want to be on top 10, like in this situation. If you put the render scale to 50%, you will distress the core from the video card. You will see that in some cases you will end up with between 60 and 80% load on the core. Even though the VRAM is nearly maxed out, you will distress the video card and the temperature will drop down. This is ideal scenario if you have this 550 Ti. Regardless, I like the 550 Ti. It's an awesome video card. Apparently you can actually use it in a retro PC, you know, with older system, older OS, older games. Who knows? If you want to see this video card in that retro machine, please tell me in the comment section. But aside from that, I must give it a win, seriously, because this 550 Ti, it's still glorious even today.